Summertime in Japan brings many great things, and one special event that occurs on Camp Zama is the annual Bonodori Festival. Odori is the Japanese word for dance, and Bonodori is a traditional Japanese dance where family members can reconnect with the spirits of loved ones that have passed on. Join us as we show you around Camp Zama's Bonodori Festival. I'm Sherman Hogue. Welcome to the Rising Sun. Taking the time to learn the steps of some of the dances might help keep you light on your feet. Children from 2 soccer teams from the Ofanato City, located in Iwate Prefecture, an area affected by the Great East Japan earthquake and tsunami, came to Camp Zama to meet with 78th Aviation Battalion soldiers and MWR personnel. Here's that story along with other news that's been happening around U.S. Army Japan.
Around 40 members of 2 elementary school-level soccer clubs from Ofunatu City in Iwate Prefecture visited Camp Zama as part of their Sagamihara City soccer tour.
The main purpose of planning this event was that I wanted the children to have a pleasant memory during their summer vacation. They experienced the tragic event of the East Japan earthquake, and even though their summer vacation is supposed to be a fun time, they were in an area that was devastated and they still face that reality. So I just wanted to take them out of that area so they could have fun during their summer vacation like other children.
During the tour of Camp Zama, the children saw what a U.S. Army soldier's life is like by visiting the 78th Aviation Battalion and its control tower.
Inside of the helicopter, they had so many buttons, I was confused.
The vest that the soldier wears weighs 66 pounds. That was a big surprise for me.
It was a great experience for me to come on the U.S. Army base where people normally cannot enter.
It was really neat for the children to be able to come here from the area that was devastated by the earthquake and the tsunami. We, as the 78th Aviation Battalion, got to help out that area and did a lot of humanitarian assistance and disaster relief projects after 3/11. So for them to come here, it was kind of closing the loop, I guess.
After the tour of the aviation facility, they experienced an American-style cookout hosted by Morale, Welfare, and Recreation.
Most people cannot get the experience that these children did today, especially meeting the unit that helped and supported during Operation Tomodachi. I was happy to see the sparkles in their eyes when they had the chance to visit with the 78th Aviation Battalion.
Prior to their return, they participated in a few soccer matches against other clubs within Sagamihara City. Reporting for U.S. Army Garrison Japan, I'm Jay Mann.
Lieutenant General Masahiro Hidaka, commander of the Japan Ground Self-Defense Forces Central Readiness Force, recently visited the U.S. Army Japan and I Corps Forward headquarters at Camp Zama to meet with the unit's commander, Major General Michael Harrison. The CRF commander was also there to observe progress on the construction of his unit's future headquarters building prior to its relocation there in March 2013 from Camp Asaka in Tokyo.
I have met General Harrison several times, and I am glad I had the opportunity to do so again today. The General has a very keen interest in our relocation to Camp Zama, so that was very reassuring to me. As far as the construction progress, everything is going as planned, and we expect it to be complete by February 2013, so I am very pleased with that prospect.
During General Hidaka's visit, he received a briefing on the comprehensive capabilities of USARJ and its command center, along with an office call with General Harrison.
The setup in the command center is very interesting because USARJ is able to get information from all over the world while they are conducting an operation, making it easier to assess any given situation. I feel very confident that we will be able to share such pertinent information once we relocate to Camp Zama.
The CRF primarily takes part in international cooperative peacekeeping activities such as United Nations missions in Sudan, disaster relief operations in Haiti, and many others. The unit also plays a large role in handling domestic contingencies.
Considering the possible contingencies that are inherent in this area, the alliance between the U.S. and Japan is of significant importance to both countries. I would like to enhance the quality of our relationship in my role as the commander of the CRF.
Reporting for U.S. Army Garrison Japan, this is Dustin Perry. The relinquishment of responsibility ceremony for Command Sergeant Major James P. Norman was held at Rambler Field on Camp Zama. Norman served as the Command Sergeant Major of U.S. Army Japan since February 2011.
Those 19 months, he has accomplished a great deal that has truly raised the capabilities and ultimate value of this entire command from soldier to civilian.
Several U.S. soldiers were in attendance at the ceremony, as well as members of the Japan Ground Self-Defense Force.
A special thanks goes out to all the command sergeants major, and senior enlisted leaders across Japan, both on the Japanese and the U.S. side. Your dedication to the soldiers of the formation is without question, and I rest easy knowing that you will all continue to move the ball down the field. Your diligence has opened up many opportunities for bilateral exchanges and training events to better facilitate growth within the NCO Corps at large.
Command Sergeant Major Norman and I were bound together by a common interest. That is, how we trained and educated young soldiers. We also discussed how to lead those young soldiers toward a successful life and career. Those were the tasks that were foremost in our minds.
For U.S. Army Garrison Japan, this is Dustin Perry reporting.
Giving to others, that's community relations in a nutshell. As a military community, we are blessed with many things: close community, security, and educational opportunities. Many are not blessed with such things. There are chances every day in Japan to improve relations with the people of our host country. Community relation projects are great chances to erase any past misdeeds and start new roads for tomorrow. Living well in Japan, it's not just living well, it's living right.
この曲っていうのは、50年、このキャンプとザマと日米合同で盆踊りを始まった時からの曲なんですよ。もうその頃からこの曲なんですよ。炭鉱節、ドンパン節、東京音頭、ソーラン節、桜音頭、桜音頭は子供向け、そしてザマ音頭、今年は相模原が入ってきてるから相模原音頭も今年は入れました。これも伝統ですからね、変に崩したりとか崩して教えたりとかそういうことはできないんですよ。もう決まった手を丁寧に教える。でもここではもう何回もないですよ。6回来るんですよ。その間に6曲教えるんだからちょっと大変だから、形はどうでもいい、楽しく踊れれば。
This is great. I've been in Japan now this time almost 6 years, and I've always wanted to do this. So I finally get a chance to do it. It's a lot of fun. It's very hot, but it's a good experience. I've always wanted to do this.
Everybody told me what a great time I was going to have at Bonadori, and they're totally correct. I can't wait to get up on the stage and represent U.S. Army Japan, and especially the G6 team, and showing my talent.
皆さん明るいじゃないですか。できてもできなくても。私はまだ浅いんです。10年ちょっと。こちらはもう50年近く。
年数では長いけどね。だね、日本の文化じゃないけどあれだから、それをうまくも伝えて皆さんがそれを持ち帰っていただければね、それが一番いいかな。
そう思いますね。
The yukata is a traditional Japanese garment that is worn during the summer season for festivals and also at Bonadori. Each year around this time, the Japanese Ground Self-Defense Force holds a live fire exercise near Camp Fuji to demonstrate some of their capabilities. Takashi Matsuda has more on this story.
8月25日教育演習、これにつきましては自衛隊の教育の一環としまして学生教育で実施をされます。8月26日の一般の公開、東富士演習場で実施をされます。今年度につきましては54回目を迎える演習であります。参加隊員数につきましては約2400名、戦車、装甲車につきましては80両、火砲につきましては約40門、航空機につきましては約25機を約2週間、練成を実施をして公開演習に臨んでおります。
I think it's absolutely outstanding. You know, the exercise is very synchronized. You can tell that the troops are very well prepared. Capabilities are very advanced. It's really outstanding.
国家というのは信頼関係に成り立っていると思うので、一人一人の団結が重要だと思います。
総会演の目的につきましては2つあります。1つにつきましては富士学校の学生のために教育に資するという1つの目的、もう1つにつきましては国民の皆様に自衛隊のですね理解を図るというこの2つの目的で実施をしております。
Most interesting thing about the show, for me as an infantry officer, I like seeing the dismounted systems that the soldiers have. And as a former Bradley Company commander, I enjoyed watching the infantry fighting vehicle fire its 35mm chain gun.
9式地雷原処理車、これが装備されて、当時2名で操作をするんですけれども、投射班長として参加をしました。公開演習の時に成功することができたという今でもいい思い出であります。この演習につきましては延べ、トータルしますと約7万6000名来場されております。皆様からですね、応募していただいて当選された方にお送りするような形をとっております。今非常に高い倍率ですね、なかなか入手困難な状況であります。
What stood out for me, I think, more so was looking at the crowd and seeing how excited they were and the discipline in the crowd. It's my first time really with the mass of humanity of the Japanese citizens, and it's great to see the support the ground self-defense force has from their civilian population.
今年度の公開演習における使用弾薬、重量約44トン、経費について約 3.5 億円であります。自衛官にとって一般の方を公開してですね、その前で演習できるというのは非常に誇りに思います。また在日米陸軍の方々の前でも皆様方に理解を得る絶好の機会であると思いますので、熱い熱意を持ってこれから実施をしていければと思っております。
今日は14名で、盆踊りの櫓の立て方と、あとステージのセッティングの作業をしております。そうですね、簡単に説明するとクレーンで櫓を立ててもらって、あと骨組みをざっとやって、それからベニヤを張って、でステージのベニヤを張って、あと手すりをつけて、あと屋根のベニヤを張って、でそれが一通りですね。で大勢で作業するので、声かけ合ってやらないと 単独でやるとちょっと怪我をする恐れがありますので、一番安全面に気をつけて作業するようにしてます。
While you're on Camp Zama, you will find a variety of booths where you can try local and familiar cuisines while you enjoy the Bonadori Festival. I recently sat down with Detachment 1 of the 1st Weather Squadron to see what it takes to predict the weather for U.S. Army Japan.
I kind of lost a little bit of my imagination when it comes to cloud features. When I was back home on vacation, my niece, who's only 4 years old, she was talking about how one of the clouds looked like a star. And when I looked up at the cloud, all I saw was a cirrus cloud or a stratocumulus cloud or a specific type of cloud. But she saw a star, or she would see a teddy bear. And for the life of me, it took me quite a bit to be able to see what she saw because I'm too busy looking at the weather feature instead of the actual cloud itself and the shape. I've been forecasting weather for 5 years. Went through training for almost a year after I joined the military, or the Air Force, and been stationed at Camp Zama for 3 years. Right after high school, I started looking into different career paths and decided that meteorology was something I wanted to get into due to the location of where I was at that time in Tucson, Arizona. Seeing the weather during the monsoon season, seeing different thunderstorms and the different types of weather that we have, patterns that we have there, really interested me as a child, and so that's something I went into right after high school. My main support is to put out the weather observations at the top of the hour, and as well as support the mission of the 78th Aviation Battalion. For USARJ, we also support them when it comes to typhoon season. If there's a typhoon coming in, or even if we have a significant amount of snow or freezing rain or some kind of significant weather that can cause people to be in some kind of danger traveling or being out and about. We will relay that information on to Garrison. Having a normal day in weather is almost impossible because there's just nothing normal about weather. It's always changing, always different. There's always dynamics of it that can make a day that was similar the day before different than the day before. So I have to go outside at just before the top of the hour and look at the weather, look at the cloud heights, look at the amount of cloud cover that's going on, the visibility, wind speeds and such like that every hour on the hour or just before the top of the hour. We have a specific weather checkpoint where we go outside on the airfield that gives us the widest range of view of not only the runway but as well as the windsock and different visibility markers that we have. I'm checking on the way out there the distance that I can see. I have a book that actually tells me and shows me different places that are certain distance away. When I look at those pictures and I see how far I can see, that tells me my distance of visibility. I'm also checking the cloud amount of the sky that the cloud is covering, the different layers of clouds. If there's 5 different layers of clouds, I'm out there figuring out how high each layer of those clouds are. I'm also checking wind direction to make sure that the wind direction is, okay, the wind direction is out of the south. We have sensors that actually tell us how the wind speed and a specific direction, but I make sure that that information is also correct. Temperature and dew point can also be judged. We have some handheld devices that give us temperature and dew point, as well as wind speed as well, but we have sensors right now that can do that kind of stuff. So the entire time I'm outside, I'm constantly checking everything. That is something I have to do on a daily basis. Briefing pilots is also something I have to do, telling them the weather at point A, at point B, and everything in between as far as their flight times and such like that goes. No matter if the weather's bad or the weather's good, these things will always happen. During typhoon season, for instance, we also work during that time, so even though everybody's bunkered down, we are here taking weather observations every 10 to 15 minutes during the typhoon because that is what my job is required for, is to make sure that we have the best understanding of what the weather is at that point in time. I like it. I like what I see now because I can see the potential of what could happen, and just being able to look at a cloud and go, okay, I know what's kind of weather that cloud creates or why that cloud is there. So no matter what, I will always be outside right before the top of the hour looking at the weather at some point.
I'd like to introduce you to the new Command Sergeant Major for U.S. Army Garrison Japan, Command Sergeant Major Katrina Najee. Rising Sun will be right back.
I often hear people say setting up a household budget is pretty difficult, but there are simple steps you can take to make it easier. You just need to sit down and draft one up. Here are some basic rules to follow. Add up your take-home pay. If you're married, does your spouse also work or stay at home? Once you know how much money is coming in, determine how much is going out. If you need help, budget worksheets are available online. If you have a budget, maybe it's time to update it based on your current situation. Here's where people get nervous about details, but just be honest with yourself as you set up monthly expenses. Add up costs for items like food, housing, utilities, insurance, and car payments. Don't forget haircuts, clothing, dry cleaning, and childcare. Include contributions to savings or investments as well as charitable donations. Now it's time to add up discretionary expenses. Consider the cost of dining out, entertaining with friends, and hobbies. Make sure your pay is more than your outgoing expenses. And don't rely on credit cards to make ends meet. Now look for ways to cut back. Easy to say, but once you take a critical look at ways to reduce your spending, you may be surprised at how easy it will be to save money each month. Once you have a good handle on your budget, you'll feel more comfortable about your finances and be well on the road to financial success. For Mission Your Money, I'm June Walbert.
いわゆるお盆というのはもともと亡くなった人、自分の親なり、祖先ですね、いわゆる亡くなった祖先の霊がその特定の日だけ、この世に戻ってくるというそういう信仰がありまして、でその戻ってきた霊を慰めるためにみんなで、要するにごちそうをお供えしたり、死者の霊がですね喜ぶようなことをして差し上げようということで歌い踊ったというのが最初だろうというふうに思われております。でそれが一つの形として、踊りと歌というものが中心になっていったのはおそらく室町時代ぐらいだろうと14、15世紀頃かなというふうに思いますけれども、その踊りや歌の内容もですね、初期のものは要するに念仏踊りとかそういう宗教的なといいますか仏教的なものがベースになったものであったわけですね。
Happy Bonda Festival! Happy Bonda Festival!
輪になって踊るということは当然その真ん中に何かがないと輪になれませんよね。ですからその輪の中心には目に見える場合と目に見えない場合があるんですね。目に見えないっていうのは要するにそこに祖先の霊が皆さん来てるからでそれを中心にして周りを、回ろうということが一つありますけれども、それだとやっぱり何か物がないということで要するに今でも地方とか、一般の家庭でもそうですけれども精霊棚とか盆棚というですね、その祖先の霊が帰ってきている場所というのが作るわけですね。でそこにいろいろごちそうなんか並べたりするわけです。そういう精霊棚というものを、広場の真ん中に置いて、そしてその周りで踊るということが一つ考えられる。最初歌も踊りも同じ人たちがですね歌いながら踊るという形だったようですね。ですけどそのうちやっぱり人数が多くなったり規模が大きくなったりしていくと、その中でどうしても歌の非常に上手い人が音頭取りと いう言葉がありますね。あれはまさにそこから来てるんですね。音頭取りで、その歌の上手い人が中心になって歌を歌い、そしてその周りを踊りながらこう合いの手を入れるという、そういうことが中心になっていった。最初要するに例えば臼、お餅をつく臼がありますね。あれをひっくり返してその上に乗って歌うとかですね。あるいは酒樽の上に乗って歌うとか、そういうことがどうもあったようですね。ああいう本格的なああいう櫓になっていったのはいつ頃なんでしょうかね。おそらく意外と新しいんじゃないかと思ってます。明治以後かもしれませんね。
The Bonadori Festival is one of a few open post events we have each year, and it's a rare occasion that we have to invite our host nation to celebrate with us one of their traditions and one of their ancient customs. And we are just so honored to be able to have so many thousands of people come out today and celebrate with families and friends and truly be one team, which is the spirit of what we call Ichidan.
The taiko drum is a traditional Japanese drum that is used during ceremonies and festivals in Japan. Recently, the Torin Drum and Fife Band joined with the 296 U.S. Army Japan Band to exchange melodic sounds. Daisuke Sato joined the two teams for this next story.
Well, today the idea was we invited the students from the local Sagamihara Elementary School to be able to come, and first of all, we wanted to play for them so that they could see some live performance, hear live music, and we also wanted to give them an opportunity to perform some of the songs that they've been working on for us as well. So we did that at the beginning, had a small concert for them, they then performed for us, and after that we broke off and did workshops with them where we had our instrumentalists teach them, how to play the drums, talk about breathing techniques and things like that. So, it was wonderful. The fact that they're only in elementary school and they just started playing their instruments less than a half a year ago. It was a lot of fun to hear some themes of music videos and TV shows and Japanese anime. So it was really fun for us to hear music that we don't get to hear very often. They played on instruments that we don't really have in America, that I think most elementary school kids in Japan, that's what they learn on. So it was fun to see them, how small they are, but how seriously they're taking their music.
楽しかった。音楽を聴いたり、質問してすごいいいことを聞けたと思います。聞いたり、いろんな部屋を見たりするのが楽しかったです。
海外のその音楽隊と交流するっていう機会はなかなかないので、いい経験になったし、とても楽しかったです。
すごいアメリカ人たちの演奏を聞いて、強弱がすごくついていたところが一番良かったなって思いました。
私が緊張して一番間違えてたのかなって思いました。
すごい緊張しすぎ、心臓がバクバクバクバクなってミスをいっぱいしてしまったから、これから家で復習してアメリカ人のみんなみたいに間違えずに演奏できる人になりたいです。
今日はちょっと残念ながらお休みしている子が何名かいるんですけども、隊員数としては25名いまして、今日は23名来てると思います。グループとしては相模原市に古敵バンド連盟という連盟がありまして、それに所属しております。で、うちの隊は東林間の東林地区っていう地域がありまして、そこの3校から小学校の、3つの小学校から主に隊員を募集して、活動してますね。
I just hope that they're inspired, whether they play drums or whatever instrument they decide to play, or even if they do it as a hobby or just love listening to music on the radio. I think there's something to be taken from every experience in life, and I hope that we motivated them in a positive way to always have a great respect for music?
Oh, it was great. It was great. I love working with the children here. The children are always all the same, no matter where you go. But especially here in Japan, I can see a strong work ethic with them, and they're very willing and flexible to do any task that you ask them to do, and have fun with it. So it was a joy. It was a joy working.
Well, I think how attentive they were while they were performing, and then while we were performing. Just the attentiveness, the eyes of, desiring to learn more and enjoying the same business that we're both doing together here, making music. That was just, that's so exciting for me. I was staring into each one's eyes with that excitement that we used to have when we were younger as well. And sometimes we lose it because we work so hard every day. But watching these kids, really, I mean, it's such a treat, and it lasts for a long time.
鼓笛隊ですので、もちろん演奏の技術を高めるということも必要なんですけれども、私はどちらかというと心の勉強の方ですね。なかなか1年生から6年生までを交えて一つの集団で活動っていうのは習い事でもあると思うんですけれども、鼓笛隊はその上級生が自然と下級生の面倒を見る。で、あとはお互いに責任を持って自分の音に対しての責任がやはり自分の個人の人の性格でもあるんですけど、責任をだから自分一人の存在の大きさと責任を感じて学んで成長してもらえればなと、思ってやってます。
Once you hear the music and join the other dancers, you can almost let it take you step by step. And with summer being near an end, that means the football season is right around the corner. And to make sure they're ready, the Kamizama Trojans have already begun their summer practice sessions.
This year we have a team of about 45, 50 young men ready to play for the Trojans. We have a strong backfield with some experienced runners coming back, and as well as maybe a new player that's moved in. Offensive line-wise, we have some inexperience, but we have some guys that I think are going to step in and do a good job for us. They're really doing a good job of learning the schemes and trying to execute our plays properly. 18th of August, we have a scrimmage against 2 Japanese schools, and of course it's good practice for the Japanese teams as well.
I feel like it's a really good experience because a lot of people in the States, they don't really get a chance to play foreign teams, and Japanese teams, they don't really get a chance to, and I think it's really nice that we get a chance to play Japanese teams, and it's really fun.
I think one of the things more than anything on the field in terms of X's and O's is just the commitment required to be a high school athlete, and especially a high school football player. To be a good high school football player, it takes a lot of time, a lot of dedication, a lot of study of your playbook, just a lot of focus so you can do well to execute the plays.
We're looking pretty good this year. We got a couple new players from Texas and all around the globe, everything. So I think we should do pretty well this year.
We want to finish everything, whether it's a drill, whether it's listening at a chalk talk, whatever it is we're doing, we want to finish. So our goal is just to finish, and to finish every game as strong as we can, and then we'll see what happens from there. But ultimately, of course, we're shooting for a championship.
My goal for this year is to win Far East, the championship, go undefeated this season, and win every game. That's my goals for this year.
I mean, since last season, we've been in the gym all the time, off-season training and everything, just working out and going even harder in practices this year.
Every season brings its own challenges. There's different things each season. Some things are similar. Some of the players are the same. Some of the new players, I have to get to know them, know their personalities, know their styles. So, each year is a little bit different, but there's a lot of similarities in the fact that you're dealing with young men, teenagers, and those things are the same, but there's certainly different personalities from year to year. But overall, it's just working with kids, having fun, teaching football.
It's not so much what I do, but it's what the team does. And if we all work hard, then we can do it together. Because not one person, like my coach always says, one person can't beat the whole team. You have to have everyone, so we all got to work hard.
I just encourage everybody to come out to all the games, enjoy the Friday night lights, yeah, that great slice of Americana right here in Japan.
I hope you've enjoyed the Bonadori Festival and learned some of the Japanese culture that surrounds us. For questions or concerns, please like us on Facebook and follow us there to keep up with things happening in and around the garrison. For more in-depth stories and cultural coverage from the Army's home in the land of the rising sun, I'm Sherman Hogue, and we'll see you next month.